Hi, it's Danny, and tonight I'm wearing my rock and roll over t-shirt, I'm playing my Gibson Les Paul, and I'm standing up. Why? Because tonight I want to talk about the man that made me want to pick up a guitar in the first place, Ace Frehley. Ace's guitar playing excited me as a kid. His solos weren't just flash, they were compositional. They were a distinct part of the song. I could sing along to his solos. But anyway, I want to play. I'm too excited for rambling. So give me a like, give me a sub, and let's get into my top 5 Ace Frehley techniques. At number 5, we have pinch harmonics. Now, this became a done-to-death staple of rock and metal players in the 70s and 80s. I'm thinking Billy Gibbons with that wicked outro solo in La Grange, right through to Van Halen, of course, and then Zakk Wylde, who to this day is yet to play a single note without a pinch harmonic on it. True story. But for me, Ace had an impeccable touch for this technique. He never overdid it. A perfect example is his opening phrase of his solo from I Was Made for Loving You. Another great example is how he kicks off the rock bottom solo with an attention-grabbing flash. Now, the Ace of my childhood lived in the pentatonic scale. And he stayed right the fuck at home too. He never even really strayed from that standard shape either. Oh, I put an extra note in. That sounds like Ace. But the melody and feeling he wrung out of those 5 notes is insane. Now, when he did like to add extra notes, he did meander in and out and put a couple in. And it was usually like the major 9th and 6th, which would make it like a Dorian sort of deal. One of Ace's classic Dorian licks was in his awesome solo on Shock Me. Does a similar lick in Parasite, which I think was in G, in that section of the song. He does like a so it's got that tremolo sort of picking thing at the start as well. But then on the Elder, on a great song called Dark Light, one of Ace's songs that he sings, he plays that same sort of thing, like even way more tremolo-ier. His picking's really fast. In Lover All I Can, Ace introduces a couple of further notes. It's in D, and so he uses his little 9th and major 6th, but he continues the pattern down, so he gets the flat 5 and the flat 9. So let me try this with the loop pedal here. I'll get the riff going. Something like that, but it's cool. I don't know if it's, it's quite swift, so maybe the note just flies by and we don't notice, or maybe we do and it's just something that makes Ace very, very cool. Another example where Ace adds a few notes to his pentatonic scale is in 100,000 Years, where he does this, that is a great solo again, I love listening to that solo, but he does this cool thing where it's like his typical... So that time he's adding his Dorian notes, the 9th and the 6th, but then he's So adding the major third on the way past and the major seventh on the way past. Love those little staccato sort of runs he does. More about that later. Another wicked example is God of Thunder, where Ace first does that great lick that ends on the ninth. And then the second time he's got that. Yeah. I've actually seen a live clip where instead of that nice typical Ace Frehley staccato picking, he does like triplet legato pull-offs for the same notes. Like something like that anyway. And then there's Juice. What a brilliant solo that is. But that final phrase. Ace descends the A pentatonic scale. It includes the flat 5 and then the major 7 in that final staccato triplet phrase that's just so Ace. So just a side note on that solo, that opening phrase, the opening note, that bending one note to sound like another note and playing them both together on guitar. That is such a guitar thing. Have you ever appreciated how much of a guitar thing that you can't do that on any other instrument? You know, you can't do that on saxophone. You can't do it. Pianists kind of pretend to do it, but you know, they've only got one of every note. So it's really a guitar thing. I guess violinists could do it. That's pretty rock and roll. So number 2 is staccato. Now this to me is Ace. This is his thing. It's his big thing. And you can hear his heavy-handed picking technique just all over his playing, his staccato phrases. I think he quite often picks upwards where most of us would normally pick downwards. But you can just hear that he sort of really digs into the notes to get a nice, you get lots of pick sound, lots of click on there, and chokes them off really short. It's a very Ace Frehley thing to do. Check out the final phrase of his solo in I Stole Your Love. Listen! And it's the opening phrase of his lead break in Got Love for Sale. Let's loop this one up. One note. 2, 3, 4. So much fun. It also kicks off the B section of the Shock Me solos with that yeah, it's just the phrasing, so much phrasing. But check out the start of the Hooligan solo. It's this next phrase that, for me, is his biggest signature. I just love how Ace he's come up with this phrase, and it is his. He owns this. Check out Hooligan, the opening to the solo. And it's also the theme of the entire solo in Firehouse. For me, it's always reminded me of a chook. It's like that. He gets that little. that. So it's like a pinch harmonic, which if you don't know how to do it, there's a few different ways, but the way I do it, I hold my pick real close, and what's happening is, as the string is struck by the pick, then it hits my thumb. And if you've got enough gain up, there are harmonics, artificial harmonics, everywhere along each string. So basically, if I'm on the 5th fret here, and then if I let my thumb hit the string as I pick it, moving my hand along, they're everywhere. So that's a pinch harmonic. So then Ace gets that on the downstroke, and then picks the upstroke to get the clean note. And quite often it's bent first, so you get that. Magic! He's a magician. He also uses the same phrase slightly differently in Got to Choose to add some rhythmic variation to the wailing bends that solo is built around. Let's see if we can loop this sucker up. 3, 4. You can have fun with this stuff all night long. But he also uses his unique staccato to really hammer out certain runs, to let the music breathe, let sunlight peek between the notes after the flurry of hammer-ons and pull-offs that usually precede the phrases, like the run at the end of the Juice solo. Personally, I reckon Eddie Van Halen owes a huge debt of gratitude to Ace Frehley. His answering phrases in Van Halen's cover of You Really Got Me are the same pinch harmonic staccato descents that Ace Frehley was throwing around for years. The main difference is that Eddie rarely ventures inside the pentatonic scale. So number 1, Wailing Vibrato. Whilst Ace's stuttering staccato chicken-like approach is entirely and unmistakably his own voice on the guitar, I'm even more in love with his use of vibrato, because it's something that every rock guitarist does, but he's just totally got his own voice with it. He uses it as like a compositional tool in the solos. Remember the lines in Juice. And Shock Me, those singing, wailing bends that just, it's like a vocal part in the song. Amazing. But as well as those, beyond those, what about Strutter? What a freaking song, what a solo. That's it. I could talk about Ace Frehley all night, and I'll probably do another 1 or 2 at least on this guy. He certainly inspired me, and I know he's inspired many, many others, many of you out there. I hope you gave me a like, and please subscribe to the channel so that I can keep pumping this stuff out.